think if I was only coaching and not enjoying it for the training aspect, I think I'd probably burn out. So to bring in such good coaches that come in different days of the week that I can follow their lead for the hour or follow their class for the 2 hours, it makes it fun. It makes it just like I'm going to the gym like everybody else. Thursday, I'm your coach. Friday, I'm next to you, and we're both doing med ball slams. Man, we're both in this,
We're joined today with Jake Pilla, the gorilla. Jake Pilla. Jake, how are you?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm good. We got Jake here, 4-2 as a professional in New England. Fighting. He's got an upcoming fight announced for Combat Zone 87, February 8th. Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'll be stepping in up at the SNHU Arena in Manchester for Combat Zone on the 8th. I'm fighting Desmond Johnson, and I'm looking to just kind of take this year to get back on the winning streak and make a little bit of a tear,
Yeah. So your last time out was that Combat Zone 85?
Yes.
Last August?
Yep.
Yeah. So that one didn't quite go your way. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
So I ended up fighting up a weight class. I took on a tough opponent, and I felt like we had game plan well and camp went well. I had a lot of personal stuff I was going through during that time. Over the past year, I lost my father, so that's played a big role in my life. But I knew I had to kind of get back in there and step back out there, and I felt good going in there, man. Everything seemed to be going okay. I expected us to strike a little bit. He went right for a takedown. I was really surprised. I felt like we jocked a little bit. I felt like I reversed. I went for the takedown. I felt super calm on the ground. And I guess I didn't feel like he was a threat on the ground at all. So I didn't feel like positionally, he ended up on mount, but it was from a guillotine, and I'm just kind of throwing subs at him and moving, and I felt so, I guess, overconfident in my jiu-jitsu in the fight that the last thing I thought was that I was going to get sliced by an elbow. So, I've never been elbowed like that in a fight, and so it definitely changed my thoughts and some of the ways I train and do things. But it was a good learning experience. He cut me. There was way more blood, and I honestly didn't know where the blood was coming from until after the fight. I was in the back, and right after the fight stopped, the doctor came over and touched me, and I was like, dude, don't touch me. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just leave me alone for a minute. I was super frustrated.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to my opponent. He was a better man that day, but yeah, I didn't know I was even cut like that. And so I got in the back, and one of my coaches was like, I think I can close that. And I was like, close it? What do you mean close it? Close what, dude? And next thing I know, I'm getting stitches in my eyebrow. So.
Yeah. I was there for that. I remember that you. That was the first time I think the second time I've seen you fight, and I was surprised to see that giant gash and that blood everywhere. I was like, damn, he really busted you open.
Yeah, and again, I've never taken an elbow like that, and I've never been sliced open. So it was, definitely an experience. And I think now knowing, if I knew what I knew then, kind of thing, I would have been a lot more, proactive on stopping the elbows and not allowing for that jocka position, because I guess guys don't have to be as dangerous in the jiu-jitsu if you can implement the danger elsewhere.
Yeah, totally. And then after that fight, obviously your next fight is coming up in February, so you did take a couple months off. Was that planned, or is it just kind of happened that way?
Just kind of life, man. Just kind of making sure everything else in my life and the personal side of things was kind of getting back to a good point. It's definitely been a roller coaster this year, and there's no good way around it. The only way through it is through it, and so it's just been a lot on the personal level. So I just tried to take the adequate time to make sure that my headspace was right, that my body was right, that all the little areas of my life that do come before fighting were kind of set up the right way. And so coming back now, I feel probably the best I have in a long time. I'm the healthiest I've been. My weight's super close. I'm working out, 3-4 times a day. I'm right where I need to be, and it feels good. And so this year I'm looking to fight 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to get real active and try to come back and make a statement.
Nice. Good. That's good. In your time off, did you continue to train, or did you take maybe a couple months to let the body kind of rest during the holidays?
Yeah. So I own a school. So there's no taking a break, so I'm here every day. I live the lifestyle. This is just kind of all I do. I've trained twice today. Tonight's my third session.
Yep.
It's kind of an every day. So I've never, since I was like little and started martial arts, I can't say there's ever been a time in my life that I took a break more than 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that, like I had a surgery almost 10 years ago. I had to take like 3 weeks off of that. And then around the time that my father passed, I probably took 3 weeks off. But otherwise, I've stayed consistent for as long as I can remember,
Yeah, yeah. And your gym, that's Gorilla Crew, correct?
Yeah, Gorilla Fitness.
Gorilla Fitness. And so you own that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And did you open that yourself, or did you kind of go in with someone?
I did. I was running private lessons every weekend, and that was kind of how I was making my revenue,
Mm-hmm.
And once I realized that I had 6 or 7 consistent clients and people coming in, and the money that I could make, I felt like it was the right time to jump to a bigger space and try to put together some classes. And I'm 4 years in now, and the place is running great. I have amazing coaches in here and a great fight team. I have 2 guys fighting next weekend. I'm fighting in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of fun, man, and super rewarding, and I love it. I have a great team in my room, and it's fun every day.
Nice. So do you run like kids programs, teens, and adults?
Yeah, so generally the teens I let train with the adults.
Mm-hmm.
The adults should be able to control themselves with the teens, and it should be a good learning and help experience, because it's not long before the teens are the adults, and they're the 20-year-old adults beating up the old people. So if the old people want to, you got to kind of mix back and forth. But we run kids programs, strength and conditioning programs, gi and no gi. We do Muay Thai, MMA striking, and MMA.
Nice.
So we got a pretty full house over here right now.
That's awesome. Sounds like it's going pretty well for you over there.
Yeah, man. It's just it's a lot of fun. Again, it's the team. I have a great team over here.
Yeah. Eventually, one of my goals is to open up my own martial arts gym. Eventually, down the line. I've been in the martial arts since I was 7, so it's been a big part of my life.
Nice. What did you start with?
Jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. That's how I met. That's how I met Mike. We both started at Kaze.
Oh no way! I've been up there.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you when you were there, but yeah.
I was up there a long time ago.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Funny.
So you know Greg?
I do.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. So where's your gym located?
I'm right in Tewksbury, so I'm right next to Lowell. If you're ever down this way, man, jump over.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
So Mike down here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. You get you and Mike, Mike and I. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man, I love that.
So do you cross train at other gyms? I'm assuming. I think I've seen you at Burgess too, right?
Yeah. I'm a big believer in cross training, and there's no way for me to know it all. There's no way for my guys to know it all. We got to get out and get different looks, and so I train at FAF in Holbrook under Coach Sean Graham, and I train under Burgess MMA with Nate and those dogs up there, a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
And I train with BJJ Boston and Methuen, and those 3 gyms are pretty much like our main sister gyms. We're kind of always jumping back and forth. The owner of all 3 of those schools are my coaches. So when I fight, they all own schools. I travel to them, they travel to me. We're all kind of working together and collectively. So
yeah,
it's a nice little relationship.
Nice. So how's training camp been so far up to this point? We're about like 3 weeks out from fight night. So how's everything up until now?
It's good, man. I'm feeling really, really good, really sharp. I kind of dialed back probably 3.5 weeks ago when I thought I was going to have something on the agenda. Started getting in shape, so my weight's super low. My, the nutrition side of things we kind of got ahead of early.
Yeah.
I've been strength and conditioning like crazy. This fight I'm taking at 45 again, so I'm trying to, generally I'd be fighting at 140 or 135, so I'm trying to keep a little bit more mass. So I've been lifting weights every day. I've been it's definitely been a different camp for me, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm feeling very, very healthy. I'm feeling a little bit mean, a little bit like I want to get in there and
got that edge.
Somebody else, I want to elbow somebody else.
Yeah.
But otherwise, man, I can't complain. And having Mel and having Tristan fighting next week, I'm in their camp every day. I'm pushing them, they're pushing me. We're getting great rounds and good work in, and so it's kind of worked out perfectly.
Yeah. And Melissa, she's your girlfriend, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And she's got her fight for Cage Titans this weekend.
That's right.
Yep. So how's she been looking?
She's looking really good, man. Really sharp. She has a tough opponent. It's one of those things. I think she goes in there, she stays nice and collected, and sticks to the game plan. I think we're going to walk out with a good night. You know, right. She has a ton of potential. She works her ass off, and she can strike. You know, she is tough as nails.
Yeah, I think I was at one of her fights. I think it was for Combat Zone. It might have been a debut, and she like threw an overhand right and just like knocked some girl out.
Yeah, put the girl to sleep.
Yeah, I think I was there for that one. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Mel's got some hands, man. She's super tough. And her jiu-jitsu is fire, too. She's a blue belt. She's arguably a purple, but I got to bully her. You know, I can't just give her a belt.
Yeah.
But, no, she's super tough. I'm excited to see her get back in there and, you know, make a run. And then we just had Tristan Wood come into the gym recently. He's got a couple fights under his belt. Sweetheart of a kid and an absolute animal. Yeah. And so
he fights at 170, right?
No, we're fighting at 155.
55. Okay.
And that boy's a big 55er.
Yeah.
But no, he's awesome, man. He's another one who he goes in there this weekend, stays nice and calm and collected, and I think he's going to have a great night. And so having the three of us in camp together has really been a blessing.
Yeah. So what weight class do you prefer, 135 or 45?
I mean, I preferably would do 140 so you don't have to cut the last misery pounds. But
yeah.
I'm a 35er. You know, like right now, I think today I was like 54 and we're 3 weeks out. I'm not, you know, what is that, 8 pounds, 9 pounds to weight? That's not much.
40,
yeah, you know, so fighting at 135 is definitely my weight class. You know, I'm not big enough for the 45ers no matter how much I want to eat and work out. It's not going to do it. So I'll take, you know, if the right opportunity comes up at 45 and I think my tools align perfectly to their tools, you know, we'll take the opportunities. But preferably I'll probably stay a little bit lower and fight at 35 or 40 or, you know, kind of that in between. Yeah.
So do you have any main training partners when you go to travel to other places, like people you always see all the time, or is it kind of a mix of who's ever's in the gym at that time?
Kind of all depends where I'm at, you know, and who's in the gym. I do have like a bunch of guys that kind of come to my room and give me work. Brendan Marat's been a big help. Okay. You know, like I have Kenny and Sean Schubert down at FAF. There are killers everywhere. You know, up at Burden, you got guys like Bazanson who just bully me over the mats, you know. Yeah, Ryan Fennelly, Ryan Sheeting. Like, this is one of those I could run the gauntlet for, you know, forever. I had Romano beating me up last week.
I love Romano. Haven't seen him in forever.
Oh, I loved him until last week when his big ass was on top of me and I was getting shark baited. I hope he listens because he needs to stop being so big and tough.
He needs to stop eating so much.
Yeah, exactly. Romano, he's bullying me. But no, I'm always getting good work, man. I'm super blessed with the guys around and the team that we have.
Yeah,
I really am.
And it's always like probably harder because like when I was fighting at like 125, you know, we're always like the smaller guys in the room to begin with anyway. So it's like you're always going to be the smallest guy in the room.
all the time. I got guys like Bazanson at 200 pounds just laying on me, dude. Like, he got me my 50 pounds before we even started.
I know. So do you have any? So at the beginning you said you really want to crank out some fights after February 8th, but is there any like specific amount of fights you want to have? Any promotions you want to try and hit after February 8th, or any fighters on your radar you want to fight to get you to that next level?
I'm not one of those guys that does like I want to fight this guy or this guy. It's just kind of not the way I think us fighters should kind of act, I guess. Like, and you know, unless you're on the big stage and it's paying for you to give the call out, I get it. But you know, any of my local guys, I hope we all make it. Let's fly someone in that I don't know, that it's not gonna, you know, like I don't feel for, and let's do it that way. You know, so I'd rather fight the out of state guys and the guys I don't know, so that all us local boys get a good shot at really doing something.
Yeah.
But I fought my entire career behind Combat Zone and Combat FC.
Mm-hmm.
Both organizations have been incredible to me. I have nothing but the best things to say. That's why I do love fighting for both of them. And even as a coach and as a gym owner, I've worked with Cage Titans a lot now. My guys are fighting for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. I've been in the game a long time. And I really don't think there's a bad promotion around. I'll probably stay at Combat Zone and Combat FC. That's kind of my comfort zone. That's where my fans are. That's where we pack the house, and as long as they still want me bringing in fans and selling tickets, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, nice. I've been to both. They're very good. They put on very good events. I really like the new venue at the SNHU Arena. I was there for the last 2 times. It was nice. It's nice.
It's super cool, and then the warm-up area in the back is super nice too because it's so professional. You got all this room. It's not all cramped, but every place has its up and downs. Yeah. Combat FC, I like the walkout. Combat Zone, I like you just you can't have it all. But they're all good promotions. So
nice. So, what do you like to do in your free time when you're not at your gym running your classes? If you have free time.
Man, I wish I had some more of that. I love to travel. I always like to kind of go out, explore. I think this year I'll probably taking 2 or 3 trips, try to see some good concerts or some good venues. If it's summertime, I'm normally up at my mom's lake house. I'm either out on the boat or I got a motorcycle that I like to ride in the off time. It's winter right now, so I pretty much just hide myself in the gym where it's warm and stay here and hibernate. But as soon as it gets nice out, man, you'll find me outside almost every day.
Yeah, nice. So when you have your classes, is it open 7 days a week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's Sunday right now, and I'm sitting in my office.
No. Yeah. Do you like teaching classes too? Do you teach like the kids, teens, and adults?
Yeah, I love it. The way I did it, so I'm only on the schedule a couple hours a week to coach, but I'm here every day. And so I have other coaches that come in. Tomorrow, for example, is Monday. I'll have a performance coach come in and teach a strength and conditioning class. Then I'll have an MMA striking coach come in and teach an MMA class. And I'll be there for both of those classes. I'll take the classes. I'm training. I'm getting my own work in. But I get to, if we're doing something, I have good input. I've done this a long time. We kind of co-coach, They're running the room. I listen to what they're saying, but I'll go over and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about us adding this? And so we all do it as one big team. And so because I don't have to coach every day and I get to be a part of the team too, it keeps me loving the system. I think if I was only coaching and not enjoying it for the training aspect, I think I'd probably burn out. So to bring in such good coaches that come in different days of the week that I can follow their lead for the hour or follow their class for the 2 hours, it makes it fun. It makes it just like I'm going to the gym like everybody else. Thursday, I'm your coach. Friday, I'm next to you, and we're both doing med ball slams, and then we're both in this, And so it's definitely a cool window.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. It's good to have a balance of training and then helping other people,
Yeah. I do love to coach. I've been doing it a long time. I don't know what else I'd do.
Yeah. You're still young, though. You're 29?
I'm 30, man, but don't be telling anybody. Don't listen. Tell them all I'm not getting old anytime soon.
All right, yeah. You're still young. You're still in your prime.
Yeah, I feel young, man.
Just entering your prime, Yeah.
That's kind of how I think too. I think the next couple of years are obviously big years, and if you look at some of the biggest and best guys in the world, that 30 to 34 mark is really like a really good run.
Yeah.
If I can put on 4 or 5 good performances this year and walk out of the year at 8-2 or 9-2, that's a record anywhere to be looking at. And so I think I definitely think I'm hoping in the next 2.5 years to really kind of peak my physical level.
Yeah.
And then the mental side of thing, I hope I'm growing forever. So just got to implement it all.
Nice. And how do you see your gym, Gorilla Fitness, growing throughout this year?
I'm super excited. We just changed up the kids program, so we're doing we call it like a Combat Kids Academy. Where we're going to belt the kids. We have an 8-year system that you could map from white belt to this Combat Kids black belt of all the things they're learning. And it's a good mixture of the striking, of the grappling, of the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and the boxing. and their fundamentals are going to be so solid. These kids will be walking out of my room at 13 or 14 being like your high-level blue belts without having to put the gi on yet.
Yeah.
And then to get the blue belt, they still have to put the gi on. There is no shortcuts. Those belts they're not applicable to MMA, right? Because there's no belts in MMA. But just the program that we just probably spent like 80 hours putting it together, dude. It was a lot. But we just finished. Me and a couple of the guys here that all run the kids program. We sat. I brought it to all my coaches. We just plugged and played and added things and took things, and it was really cool. And I think that's going to be a huge jump. Having a system and a program like that for kids, I think, is only going to grow me, to the next level. I also have a pretty big girls kickboxing class that's been coming in the morning. They've been calling it the Moms Fight Team. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
But that's starting to grow. All my classes, the fighters, I mean, it's January. I got 2 guys fighting. In February, there'll be 3 of us. I mean, this is going to be a busy year. I don't see any way other than us growing, so I am nothing but excited and hopeful.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear. I love New England MMA and all the small gyms that are, on the rise.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. I'll tell you that. It feels good. We're 4 years in. The numbers are the best it's ever been. I think we really found a good speed for things.
Yeah. When did you take your first amateur fight? When did you start fighting?
It was about 10 years ago. It was like a year or 2 years after high school. I took my first amateur fight. And then in the meantime, we had the COVID for like 2.5 years. I was set to fight when COVID hit. I tore my ACL over the years. That was like a year out. I've had a couple like little injuries. So it's been like years where I couldn't fight. But I've been fighting now probably 10, 11 years.
Yeah. And was your goal always to make it to the professional rankings?
Yeah, I think the goal for me, kind of changed the older I got, where the goal has always been to do what I love and do it at a high level. And when I started to kind of realize how much I liked MMA and the training, and I was like, everybody says I want to be a UFC champion. I want to be, hey, of course, that's always going to be the goal. Fight at the highest level against the best guys in the world. I was training with Marab a year ago. I was training with Marab 6 months ago, I'm putting in that work, and I don't think there's any reason that I can't showcase it on the highest level.
Yeah.
But over the past year and through the lessons that I've learned, I'm just trying to enjoy the ride of it all. You never know when the ride's going to stop, or when things are going to change and things lose value and gain value. So I keep saying, if I leave this earth with 25 pro fights, that's a bad motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Call it what you want. I like the Max Holloway way of thinking about it. He says, I don't need to be the greatest. I just want my name up there somewhere.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, if I'm the greatest, man, what if Jose Aldo retires? I can't look at Jose Aldo and be like, I'm the greatest, dude. Look at that dude. There's people that I think are just legends, and I just hope to put my name in that list.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me on the show today, Jake. Jake Pilla. I appreciate you. I'm going to let the floor be yours. This is your time to say any thank yous, shout outs, any last words, any words of wisdom. The floor is yours.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you having me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you have me back on. Yeah. Looking forward to February 8th. I got to shout out Combat Zone, Calvin Cade, and all those boys, because we're going to put on a fucking hell of a fight. I'm going to blow the roof off that place, and I'm coming back to do some serious damage. I got to shout out all my sponsors, all my family, my friends, my team. Everybody at home, my mom, my little brother. I love you guys, and I'm pumped to get back in there and do what I love.
Nice.